All right, let's dive in. We're taking a look at The Forgotten Vow
Oh,
today.
this one.
Yeah, it's a mystery novel, and it's got all the good stuff. Old houses, family secrets,
Uh-huh.
that kind of the kind of atmosphere that makes you want to keep reading, even though it.
Right. Even though
But
you're a little creeped out.
yeah, exactly. And we've got some extra material to help us unpack it all. Some background on the author and the historical context.
Perfect. Yeah, because the Forgotten Vow, it really plays with this idea
Oh yeah,
that the past isn't really past. Like
yeah.
buried secrets always find a way
To
to.
come back and haunt you.
Exactly. And the setting, this crumbling Scottish manor called Blackthorn House, it just adds to that feeling.
It's like a classic haunted house setup, right?
Totally.
But then it gets so much deeper. You've got Ava Carter. She's this modern-day vlogger,
Right.
determined to uncover the truth behind a local legend. But,
But she ends up dead, mirroring the disappearance of Isabel Blackthorne from like a century ago.
oh, yeah.
The author really throws us right into the mystery.
It makes you think, though, like, what if you stumbled on a truth
Yeah.
that some people would do anything to keep hidden?
That's where the real suspense comes in.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so the book jumps back and forth, right, between the present-day mystery and then flashbacks to 1893,
hmm
focusing on Isabel Blackthorne. Can you give us a little more about her story, and how it sets the stage for everything that happens?
Well, Isabel, she's trapped in this loveless marriage to Charles Blackthorne. He's controlling, possessive, the whole nine yards.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But Isabel, she finds this connection with Thomas, a stable hand. Their love is
Forbidden
forbidden, and of course that leads to,
tragedy.
you got it. Reading Isabel's diary entries
Oh, they're heartbreaking. You really feel for her.
you do.
Like, it makes you wonder if Ava, in her quest to uncover the truth, if she felt some kind of connection to Isabel.
That's an interesting thought. There's definitely a parallel there,
Yeah.
both women challenging the status quo.
And both paying a high price for it.
Exactly. It's like some stories, some secrets are just too dangerous to bring to light.
Okay, so we know there's a mystery to uncover, but it's not just about the truth itself, right?
Right. There's the whole question of why. Why are people keeping these secrets? What are they willing to do to protect them?
And The Forgotten Vow gives us a whole cast of characters to consider, each with their own motives. Let's start with Liam McAllister, the heir to Blackthorn House. He seems a little too eager to sell the property, don't you think?
Especially once Ava starts digging into his family history.
Yeah, like he's trying to outrun something.
There's definitely that feeling that Liam is wrestling with something, you know? He's got the weight of his family's past on his shoulders, this potential connection to some shady insurance scheme after Isabel disappears.
Right, right.
But he also seems desperate to break free, to move on.
It's almost like those two things are pulling him in opposite directions.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
leading him to make some questionable decisions.
Then there's Dr. Eleanor Shaw, the historian. She seems to know a lot more about Blackthorn House than she initially lets on.
Dr. Shaw, she's a tricky one.
Is she trying to help uncover the truth or bury it even deeper?
Well, she is drawn to the truth, dedicated to uncovering the past. But as we learn more about her, we see she's got a personal stake in all of this, too. Her family history is intertwined with Blackthorn House.
So maybe she's not as objective as we first thought.
It makes you wonder if anyone can be truly objective when it comes to their own family history.
And then we have Ava's sister, Grace Holloway. Their relationship is complicated, to say the least.
Oh, it's full of layers, that's for sure. You see the sibling rivalry,
Yeah.
the jealousy, the fight over inheritance, but there are hints of a deeper bond there, too.
Right.
A shared history that's both loving
And full of resentment.
Exactly. And then Grace's grief over Ava's death feels real.
Yeah.
But it's mixed with guilt and her own secrets.
So many secrets.
It makes her a really interesting character to try to figure out.
Okay, so we've got the heir with a shadowy past, the historian with a hidden agenda, and the grieving sister with her own secrets. Oh, and then there's Rory Campbell, the groundskeeper. His ancestor was Thomas, Isabel's lover.
Ah, yes, Rory. His presence adds another layer to this whole story.
It's like the past is reaching out.
You could say that. His ancestor's fate definitely weighs on him.
It makes you wonder, are we ever truly free from the sins of our ancestors?
That's a big question, isn't it? And in Rory's case, the author drops these hints that he might be more involved than we first realize.
Right, like is he a victim of circumstance, or is he actively trying to keep those secrets buried?
Or maybe, just maybe, he's seeking some kind of revenge.
Ooh, that's a good one. All right, so we've got all these characters with their secrets and their motivations. But there's one character who seems to be watching it all unfold. Detective Alistair Grant.
Detective Grant. He's an interesting one. Haunted by his own past, you know?
Yeah, you get the feeling he's seen it all.
He approaches the investigation with this weariness.
Like he's expecting the worst.
Almost like he believes that history is just going to keep repeating itself.
But I also get the sense that maybe he's looking for redemption, a chance to make things right.
It's that inner conflict that makes him so compelling to watch.
He's part of the drama, but he's also observing it, almost like he's waiting to see how it all plays out.
And as we know, things at Blackthorn House are about to get a lot more complicated.
Oh, yeah. The secrets are starting to unravel, and it's only a matter of time before someone gets caught in the crossfire.
And we'll be right back after the break to find out who.
You know, one thing that really gets me about this book? It's the setting. Blackthorn House itself.
Oh, yeah.
It's more than just a backdrop. It's like this oppressive presence.
Right, like the house itself is a character.
Exactly. Those hidden tunnels, the crumbling walls, even the overgrown gardens, they all contribute to this feeling
of secrets and things hidden just below the surface.
Yeah, and it's in those tunnels.
Oh, the tunnels.
Then we get another big shock.
Yeah.
Rory Campbell is found dead.
And staged to mirror Ava's death.
It's like a ghost from the past is reaching out for revenge.
The symbolism is really powerful there. This idea that the past isn't over.
It keeps coming back to haunt the present.
Exactly. And we see that ripple effect throughout the town, too.
Yeah, like with the stolen artifacts and Charles Blackthorn's cover-up.
All these pieces of evidence start to chip away at the town's carefully constructed image.
Like they can't hide from the truth anymore.
Right. It forces them to confront this dark side of their history.
And speaking of dark secrets, what about Liam McAllister? That reveal about the hemlock used to poison Ava.
Yeah, the greenhouse he financed.
It definitely makes you question his motives.
He's such a fascinating character study, you know, because he's not just a simple villain. He's got this guilt, this fear, but also this desire to break free from his family's past.
And those conflicting desires are leading him down a dangerous path.
For sure.
And then we have Dr. Shaw, whose family history, as it turns out.
Oh, yeah, she's got secrets, too.
Is pretty deeply entwined with Blackthorn House. Her ancestor was part of the cover-up.
It adds a whole new layer to her character, doesn't it?
Right. Because she's dedicated to uncovering the truth, but she's also a descendant of someone who helped bury it.
It raises all these questions about responsibility and how we reconcile with the actions of our ancestors.
It's like she's wrestling with her own ghosts as she tries to uncover the truth.
It's one of the things that makes this book so compelling, these moral ambiguities.
Yeah, nobody is completely innocent.
And then we have Claire and Dr. Shaw.
Venturing into those secret tunnels.
Oh, the tunnels. It's like going right back to the source of the mystery.
Yeah, and it's there that they find the documents detailing Charles Blackthorn's crimes.
The truth finally starts to come out.
But it's also a dangerous moment because now those who are involved in the cover-up,
they're going to do anything to protect themselves.
And the stakes are raised even higher because a storm traps Claire and Dr. Shaw in the tunnel.
Oh, wow. Cutting them off from the outside world.
It's like the author's creating this pressure cooker of tension.
The storm is symbolic too, right? Like all this chaos is unleashed as the secrets are revealed.
And then in the middle of all this, they come face to face with the killer.
That's when things get really intense.
So who is it? What shocking revelation awaits us in the depths of Blackthorn House?
Well, I don't want to ruin the surprise.
Come on, you can give us a hint.
Let's just say the killer's identity is a twist that makes us question everything we thought we knew about the story.
It sounds like we're in for a wild ride. I can't wait to find out how it all unfolds.
Me neither. We'll be back after the break to discuss the shocking conclusion of The Forgotten Vow.
Okay, so we left off on a major cliffhanger, trapped in the tunnel with the killer revealed. And it turns out it's Detective Grant.
It's a pretty shocking twist.
It really is. You think you can trust the detective, the guy investigating the murders?
Right.
But nope, he's the one behind it all.
The author really plays with our expectations there.
For sure. But Grant's motives, they're not totally straightforward, are they?
No, they're actually quite complex. It's not just about some simple, evil scheme.
Right. He seems to genuinely believe that he's protecting the town, safeguarding its reputation.
It's like he's trying to control the narrative, keep the past buried.
And his own family history is tied up in all of this, too.
Exactly. So it's personal for him on multiple levels.
It makes you think about how much the past can weigh on us.
The burden of history.
Grant feels responsible for protecting the town from its secrets. But in doing so, he ends up
perpetuating that cycle of violence and secrecy.
Exactly. It's tragic, really. But how does Claire get out of this situation? I mean, she's trapped underground with a killer.
Well, this is where Claire's knowledge of Blackthorn House really comes into play.
Oh yeah, she's been doing her research.
Right. She understands the tunnel system, the secrets it holds, and she uses that to her advantage.
It's almost like the past, which Grant is trying so hard to bury, becomes her weapon.
It's a great way to look at it. Claire uses the truth to fight back against the person trying to suppress it.
And it works. She manages to expose Grant, bring his crimes to light.
It's a victory for truth, but there's still this lingering sense of tragedy, wouldn't you say?
Oh, definitely. Grant's downfall, it reminds us that good intentions don't always equal good actions.
And the fact that the final confrontation happens in that same tunnel where Isabel and Thomas died.
Right, like history is repeating itself.
It emphasizes the cyclical nature of the story. The past keeps echoing in the present.
But even with that tragedy, there's a sense of hope too, right?
Yeah.
Because Isabel's story, it finally gets told.
Yes. Thanks to Claire's investigation, Blackthorn House becomes a museum.
A place where her memory can be honored.
It's a powerful act of redemption, not just for Isabel, but for the town as well.
They're finally facing their past, acknowledging the darkness.
And hopefully moving towards healing.
But that final scene in the book, it stays with you.
The mysterious figure at Isabel's grave.
Yeah, and the way Ava and Isabel's portraits mirror each other.
It suggests a connection that goes beyond the physical world.
It's almost like the author is saying that we can learn from the past, but we can never fully escape its influence.
It's a powerful reminder that our lives are shaped by the choices of those who came before us.
The Forgotten Vow, it makes you think about the secrets we all carry, the hidden histories that connect us.
And the importance of facing those truths, no matter how difficult they may be.
Well, I think that's a great note to wrap things up on. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into The Forgotten Vow. We hope you enjoyed exploring this twisted tale with us. Until next time, keep those pages turning and remember, the past might be gone, but it's never truly forgotten.